Developing story out of the NBA. The league is looking into Kyrie Irving. As we know, he's going to miss another game tonight. Isn't expected back before Saturday. They're reviewing videos that are circulating on social media of Kyrie without a mask at what appears to be a family birthday party and a potential violation of the league's COVID protocols. Here is Nets head coach Steve Nash today.
That video surfaced. Are you talking directly to him, or is he keeping his distance from the team?
There's been communication, but I think that's all in-house. So we keep that to ourselves, and we try to figure out, our home front privately.
So Kyrie, he's going to miss his fourth straight game tonight. Again, it's against the Nuggets, all of which are listed officially as personal reasons. The Nets are 4-3 when Kyrie plays this season compared to 1-3 without him. In a season that was supposed to be our first glimpse into how the Irving-Durant duo would fare in Brooklyn, that pair has really barely played together in half of the Nets' games so far this season. So not exactly the start that the Nets would have wanted. Woj is back as promised. And Woj, we'll get to you in just a second. Let's bring in our also reporter, Malika Andrews, who's live at Barclays Center. And Malika, on the phone with us live on SportsCenter. We know we're not going to see Kyrie for the rest of the week, but take us through what happens next.
Well, Sage, now the investigation is underway from the league. They're going to be reviewing that video and deciphering whether or not it is a violation of league protocols. He was maskless. Is something that the league does not want to see. Remember that players are also barred this season from going to clubs, going to lounges, attending gatherings with more than 15 people. And so that's what the league is going to be looking into here. And remember, if he is found to have violated the league's health and safety protocols, he could be facing an additional amount of quarantine time. And if he misses games while he is in quarantine, he could also stand to lose 181.6 of his salary, which is about $410,000 per game. So that's what the league is going to have to review now.
Okay, so it's a wait and see for sure. And Woj, obviously you've been following this story as well. What else can you offer us as far as the league's perspective as they look into this?
Well, there's not going to be a lot of empathy from the league in terms of potential protocol violations. You've seen the way the league tightened those up today. And I think certainly this compounds Kyrie Irving's challenges with the organization even. It was one thing when he was away. Now, even if Kyrie Irving decided he wanted to come back and play this week, or the Nets were ready for him to play again, it is out of their hands. It is in the league's hands now. And you are unlikely to see Kyrie Irving on the court without a significant quarantine period if this video turns out to be contemporary for, I think, a significant amount of time here. And I think, as you saw in the Nets statement today, I think the Nets' expectation is Kyrie Irving has to come back and explain to them, to his teammates, to the public, exactly his reasons for going, and then also the impact that potentially his decision to be at that party may also have now on the.
And I'm going to try to be diplomatic, but I'm not going to hold back. To answer the question directly, Molly and Max, Kyrie Irving should not be forced to engage with the media. He doesn't want to talk to the media, fine. We won't miss him. But here's the reality. He should be fined every damn day he doesn't talk, because you signed a contractual agreement. It comes along with your contract as an NBA player. This notion that you just get to go out on the basketball court and play, but you don't answer questions, you don't talk to the media, whatever. Understand what the media is. The media is a conduit to assist the NBA and its players in promoting its brand. That way it facilitates you generating more revenue so guys like Kyrie can get paid $33.4 million this year, $35 million next season, and then a player option to pay him $36.6 million in 22-23, even though you fresh over playing 20 games last season. Okay? That's the situation with Kyrie Irving that everybody needs to address. The bottom line is this. Kyrie Irving, as you said, Max, comes across looking. I'm not going to talk about what he is, because I actually think he's a good guy. I actually think his heart is in the right place. But I think he's immature. I think that he's occasionally selfish. And I think at this particular moment in time, he comes off as a damn snob. He thinks people are beneath him and he's above it. He looks at the media as being inauthentic. That's what he thinks about the media. You know, everything that has happened to Kyrie Irving, that Kyrie Irving has self-inflicted, go back and look at the tapes. Quote him. It's always the media. Always. You got something to say about LeBron? It's the media. You got something to say about your time in Boston? It's the media. You got something to say about wanting to move on? It's the media. You're in Brooklyn. Nobody has thought about you since the spring. You haven't played. The season was halted. You wasn't playing before then. You had shoulder surgery. You come in, and then you're not even participating in the bubble because you're recuperating from your right shoulder. And still, you wanted to sit up there and implement yourself in the proceedings by talking about how the game should not be played. You weren't playing anyway while collecting $33 million. But you had something to say. And then when people responded, it's the media. You go on Kevin Durant's podcast and literally state, which we'll get into later, but literally state that, you know what? I mean, you're the first guy that I looked at and I said, hey, I trust you to make the last shot. And the media made up that LeBron might have a problem with that. Damn, you was taking a shot at LeBron. And you go on social media and literally state, hey, well, you know what? If I had something to say about him, I would say their name. Like, how dare us connect the dots and say 1 + 1 = 2? You won a championship with a brother in 2016. Far be it for us to come to the conclusion that, oh my God, you might have been talking about LeBron. Who else did you play with? Jason Tatum? Jaylen Brown? That's who you were talking about? Not LeBron, who you won a chip with? Who happens to be the greatest player in the world for the past decade? In Kyrie's world, it's always us. It's never him. No matter what he says, no matter who he says it to, no matter what. Hey, Max, you brought up, I tried to stop you from condemning him for talking about how the world was flat. The earth was flat. Okay? Guess what? That was you, Max. That wasn't him, Max. That was you. That was you, Max. It was your fault. It was your fault that Kyrie said that, Max. You put those words into his mouth. You forced him to articulate and disseminate that message to the world. You did that, Max. It's never Kyrie until he sits back, takes a deep breath, pauses, and says, hey, you know what? As I reflect upon these things, I may have made a mistake here or there. You know, I got to be better than that. There's young kids watching as you reflect. But in the moment, one moment, after another moment, after another moment, after another moment, it's always somebody else. So my response in closing is this. Yeah. If he doesn't speak, fine. We won't miss him. Show up on the court at the Barclays Center.
Devil's advocate.
Put on the show. Put on the show that you can put on because he is a sensational showstopper player. But if he doesn't want to talk, fine.
Yeah,
just
one of my
remind him,
favorites to watch.
if you're the NBA, of his contractual obligation and find his ass every day he doesn't talk because that comes along with your contract. Other than that, it's